My husband left me again after emotionally manipulating me into staying, and now I'm secretly planning my exit while he keeps apologizing and asking if I still want to be with him. I'm scared, exhausted, and finally realizing he may never change. I've been married for almost 2 years now, though my husband and I have been together for nearly 15. We share two beautiful children, and he is the only real, long-term partner I've had in my adult life. I've often thought we were meant for each other, but the early years were rocky, to say the least. When I reflect on our journey, the moments that stand out are often painful but also transformative. And now, I find myself questioning whether enough change can ever undo the hurt we've caused each other. The real turning point came at a friend's wedding, a long drive home where he blacked out from drinking too much. I had promised to stay sober and drive both him and a friend safely home. But instead of a quiet ride back, he screamed ugly things at me for 90 minutes straight. Harsh words aimed at my appearance, my parenting, my worth. It was a breaking point, but despite that moment of devastation, we slowly found our way back. I lost weight, rediscovered parts of myself I'd lost, made new friends, and focused on healing. For a while, it felt like we were building something better out of the mess we created. Then, 5 months ago, he woke up and told me he wasn't happy with his life, with our marriage. He wanted to leave. I remember the raw ache when he walked out the door. He returned hours later, apologizing, saying it was a mistake, that it was all because of stress and exhaustion. But the pattern didn't stop there. Since that day, he's left me 4 or 5 times, always returning with apologies, convinced he'll hold it together next time. But inevitably, the cycle repeats. He grew resentful when I went out with my girlfriends, dinner, book club, anything. What was once a harmless night out became a toxic flashpoint. He blacked out again, this time embarrassing and terrifying even me. I cannot talk about the details, they're still too raw. That same night, his behavior provoked a meltdown within his family. They painted me as the villain for calling out his behavior, saying I was overreacting even as our kids slept in the other room. I've been called every awful name: useless, selfish, crazy, sometimes while holding our children's hands for their bedtime. He's accused me multiple times of having affairs, despite having zero evidence or history to suggest anything even close to that. This is all playing out while we're juggling full-time jobs, parenting 2 young kids, and trying to keep the day-to-day chaos from overwhelming us. I've done couples therapy, individual therapy, read books, implemented boundaries. I've tried to be patient, understanding, loving when he looked lost, angry, broken. I've leaned into compassion, holding him accountable rather than punishing him. I told him it wasn't just his moods or stress. I needed to know I wasn't walking on eggshells, raising children in an unstable home, or constantly fighting an uphill battle just to have a moment of peace. But now the cycle is wearing me thin. Despite our active effort to reconnect, I feel caught in a toxic loop. One moment he's half-heartedly happy. The next, I'm the source of all his unhappiness. Then he apologizes and begs for one more chance, and I feel that flicker of hope, only for the pattern to resume. I'm exhausted. My self-worth feels frayed. The kids deserve a loving, stable environment, not one laced with shame and toxicity. But he loves me. He begs me back. He says he's changed. Yet every time I let my guard down, something drinks or stress-related sets him off again. I'm torn. Part of me remembers our earlier self, when a loving glance was enough, when laughter filled the house. I want that again. But another part of me worries, will we ever escape this chaotic loop? Am I tying my worth to someone who can't appreciate it without bringing me down? I know no relationship is perfect, but this feels like we've moved from imperfect into harmful. I'm not Episcopalian or religious these days. We used to joke about titles like, "Till death do us part." I didn't expect this journey. I want to believe in forgiveness and second chances, but I'm terrified we're only delaying an inevitable blow-up. I've barely slept since my last post. 16 days ago, I cracked under the pressure again. He'd been so insistent on one more chance, promising I'll be different, that I agreed to meet him halfway. I told him I was going to visit my friend's apartment in the city, and that afterward, we could have dinner together. I wasn't asking permission, just sharing my plans so he'd feel included. But when I did, his reaction was explosive. He lost it. He yelled at me in front of our children that I didn't deserve to go anywhere without him. He gave me an ultimatum. Either act like husband and wife again, or he'd leave right then, right now. Honestly, I was overwhelmed and scared that he'd storm out and actually make good on his threat. So I caved. I told him I'd cancel, that I'd stay home. Meanwhile, our two kids stared at us, confused and tense. Later that night, he admitted, without shame, that he'd gone through my phone. He'd been scrolling through my messages with my friend because he said he didn't trust what I'd said. His betrayal wasn't hidden behind apology, it was a statement. He felt entitled to invade my privacy. I'm so tired. He claims I don't show enough love or affection toward him, that I treat him like shit. But how am I supposed to feel warmth toward someone who threatens me with ultimatums, spews cruelty, tears me down in front of children, and violates my trust by reading my texts? It's soul-crushing to be told I'm wrong for choosing my well-being. My husband's family has drilled that into me. If I leave, I'm the one who broke the family apart. I'm the selfish one who destroyed our marriage, not the one who shouts threats and tears open my phone. When I broke down to my parents, they told me to give him time, that maybe this is just stress and exhaustion. But when I reminded my husband of past breakdowns, like the wife forgot birthday, or the secret drinking, or the repeated stonewalling, he dismissed them. He painted them as my insecurities, not genuine issues. He insists he'll change, that he'll show me enough love to fix everything. But his actions in the moment say otherwise. He said I gave him hope by offering that one more chance. But maybe what I really gave him was permission to keep controlling and gaslighting me. Now I feel stupid for ever trusting his promises. I've done therapy. I've set boundaries. I've tried to communicate. And through it all, our home has become a place of tension, fear, and desperation. Every time I push back, he responds with anger. Every time I ask for respect, he responds with more ultimatums. I'm aware I'm not perfect. I've hurt him, I admit that. But I've never undone my promises, threatened to leave him on a whim, or violated his privacy. I've never yelled insults in front of witnesses and thrown emotional ultimatums. All I want is something simple: respect. Partnership. To feel like I'm loved unconditionally, even when I'm tired, even when I disagree. I want a home that doesn't hurt. But 15 years of love and commitment feels broken. When the person you love most becomes someone you fear, you're forced to reevaluate everything. So here I am, standing on the edge of family, safety, sanity, and self-love. I need to know, am I wrong to want out? Am I asking for too much? Just peace? I'm terrified. But I'm slowly remembering that loving myself isn't selfish. Staying safe isn't cruel. Protecting my children isn't breaking up our family. I know deep down I can't go through this forever. But I'm also afraid that the moment I pull away, I'll be hit with guilt so immense that I'll spiral. And none of this makes me feel equipped to raise strong, confident kids who deserve better than shouting matches and secret phone searches. About a week after that final blowout, one where he once again exploded over dinner plans, coercing me into canceling and accusing me of orchestrating some personal betrayal, he vanished. No calls, no messages, just radio silence. And naturally, 2 days later, he contacts me again. The familiar, I'm so sorry. The professed I love you so much. The gut-tingling catch in his voice when he says he regrets how hurtful he was. Then the inevitable question. So, are you done? Or do you want us to work this out? I tell him, truthfully, we're not together right now. You left me. And until your behavior changes, permanently, I'm not willing to reopen things. I can hear him sigh in disappointment. He stammers something about understanding, but I don't know if he really does. Because I've come to a painful realization. I think I'm living with someone who is either a narcissist or someone with narcissistic traits so strong that they behave as though he truly believes he can erase the pain he's caused with illusions of regret. So yes, we're broken. And I've started preparing for the aftermath. In the past few weeks, I've made the difficult decision to gather evidence, not out of spite, but out of necessity. I've begun recording our conversations and interactions. Not because I want to punish him, but because I'm terrified he'll gaslight me later, replaying events to make me question my own memory or sanity. He's done it before, replayed conversations to distort the truth until I felt the predicament was mine, not his. I have scheduled a consultation with a family law lawyer. Nominally, it's to explore separation, custody, and asset protection, but emotionally, it's my sanity latch. I need someone to tell me what's real, what's possible, and how to get out without losing everything. I've also met individually with a counselor. I know how rapidly trauma bonds form. I know the cycling shame, guilt, and hope that bubbles back each time he begs for me to take him back. I need help disentangling from that toxic dance. I'm working, quietly, on getting our house show ready. Not because I plan to stay, or even that I want to sell it, but because I honestly fear he'll sabotage it out of spite, or to trap me into staying. Subtle changes that signal to him nothing is set. No drama, no panic, no chaos. Just readiness. Because if I can't live there anymore, I'll need to move swiftly, without the mess of a marital home in flux. I've taken another hard, protective step, backing up financial documentation. Our business is a sole proprietorship, processing through joint and individual accounts. Over the past week, I've forwarded bank statements, invoices, income files, tax paperwork, everything, to a secure personal email. I anticipate that if things go poorly, he may freeze access, restrict online portals, or obscure the business's position. I won't let that happen without warnings. I've noticed a glitch, or maybe it's a breadcrumb. I was in his email inbox a few days ago. I manage his work account while he's traveling and saw a notification from Snapchat, an email about a password reset. That in itself isn't alarming, but coupled with other whispers in the wind, a shared friend's hushed comment. I don't know if there's someone else, or whether it's casual encounters he doesn't want me to know about. Maybe it doesn't matter. It's the possibility I can't ignore. If I'm honest, part of me wants to know, but most of me is terrified of what I'll learn. Another woman means another betrayal. But I've started considering proactive steps. Shared calendars, joint accounts, questions asked calmly rather than combatively, trying to create transparency that my gut tells me he'll resist. I've told close friends what's going on, what he did, what I'm planning. They're offering counsel, houses to stay in, legal advice, and emotional support. My mom sends daily messages. Love you. Be safe. I realized that for years I isolated, either to keep the peace or because I was afraid of being seen as the dramatic wife. Now I'm leaning into their support. I'm letting their love remind me I deserve peace, not policing. But I still feel stuck. I haven't let him know about most of my steps, recordings, lawyer meeting, financial backups. If I tell him, he'll accuse me of betrayal, escalate emotionally, twist it around so I'm the crazy one. If I don't tell him, he'll argue I've been planning without him, that I've already abandoned us, that every word I've ever said about trust and hope was contingent on blind faith. So I'm building those boundaries silently, like a stealth fortress, and preparing to fortify my future. So here's where I'm at. I'm documenting everything. I have legal backup on the way. I've lined up mental health support. I'm quietly shifting assets and preparing for a home I may soon leave. I'm leaning into friendships and family when I used to push them all away. I'm reminding myself every day that I'm not crazy, I'm not dramatic, and I have a right to safety and dignity. It's uncomfortable, terrifying, excruciating. But every piece of evidence I gather, every boundary I set, every echo of support I accept, they're not betrayals of anything. They're steps toward reclaiming who I am beneath exhaustion, apology, and GD knows how many ultimatums. I don't want to look back 1 year from now and regret not acting. So here I am, tunnel-visioned on survival, not silence, not appeasement, not gaslighting. Survival with my whole self intact and my baby's future unharmed. I don't have a roadmap, but I've realized I don't have to. The compass I've trusted all along. My gut, my fear for my kids, the burning sense that love should heal, not hurt. That's enough. If there's something I'm missing, legal, financial, emotional, someone please tell me. I don't want to rebuild from a shattered house that's burned. I want to build anew from the foundation of me, and maybe, someday, find trust again. So yeah, it's a healthy request from admin since YouTube is demonizing videos like this. I hope you must have gotten it what I am trying to say. So please, it's a humble request, please share these videos of my channel. If you cannot, please at least share shorts, they're the best. I just want to see if I can be monetized or not. If I don't get monetized, and I'll shut my channel down. So please guys do subscribe, please.